Okay guys, here we are. We're at Sunnycroft farm and we're going to be looking at what goes on here. I'm going to try and make a painting and I don't know what it is yet, but Ruchard here is going to show us what goes on at this farm. So here we go. Tell us what you do.
I'm quite excited to show you guys around the farm. Pretty excited to see what you end up painting. It's going to be some interesting things. We've got some sunflowers, some bees, obviously a lot of fruit and vegetables, some crazy things to see, some tomatoes growing on the vine as well. So hopefully get some cool shots of that. And obviously we're going to be followed around by our pack of wolves, security, just make sure we keep in line. We've also got some beautiful olive trees. We've obviously got the veggie beds, maybe see a couple of chickens, maybe pop around, see my dad walking around, maybe have a tafel or something with him. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do today. It's going to be quite interesting to see what you make a painting of.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do, but it'll be cool.
I'm excited.
So beautiful, yeah. Okay, let's go.
This is pak choy. It's pretty delicious if you just fry it up in a pan with some lemon, salt and pepper. Yeah, not a lot of people know what it tastes like, but if you go to like Asia or something like that, it's a very common dish. Yeah, one of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
I actually can't believe how long this goes on. Jeez. In the beginning our carrots kept growing for like that long. Yeah. And they just wouldn't get any longer because our soil was so hard.
Of the soil?
Yeah, our soil was so hard and it just never managed to get through that first layer.
Yeah.
Little baby.
Yeah.
The Swiss chard, everyone calls it spinach. It comes from beetroot. So you'll see like the stems of this versus common spinach, which looks like looks like this. Doesn't look anything like this yet. We call this spinach. Yeah,
it's softer.
So Swiss chard is actually from beetroot. So if you taste the stem and if you taste the beetroot, it tastes very similar. But yeah, everyone nowadays sells spinach as spinach, which is actually chard.
Sure.
But you get many varieties. As you can see, there's red, there's some yellow. And yellow is my favorite.
There's different flavors.
Yeah, I find the yellow is quite salty.
Oh, okay.
Not quite sure why. It might have something to do with the soil, but I don't know. Yellow Swiss chard seems to be the best grower at Sunnycroft as well. People seem to like the taste the most and lasts for a very long time, so it's pretty cool. Spinach steak. So basically you just take 1 leaf of spinach, you layer it in a pan, nice and medium heat, probably like 4 and 5. Add a little bit of salt, pepper, lemon, and then constantly just add layer after layer after layer, and by the end of it, it's like a crispy little bottom and a crispy top, and you give it a flip, you cut into it with a knife, and it's the juiciest little steak.
That sounds good.
It does sound good. tomatoes that are very, very tasty for roasting. But if you try like eat them fresh, it doesn't taste like a normal tomato. What does it taste like? But they're like a little bit soft and a little bit watery. They're not like quite crisp and fresh. Whereas these guys, they're like crisp and fresh and ready for a slice of basil. So these plants will give us fruit for 4 months. Yeah, so kilograms and kilograms. And if you buy these guys in the shop, they're quite expensive.
Yeah.
So it works for us.
Those ones, because they're more like
anything that doesn't look like a red tomato.
Yes, like Woolworths would.
Yeah.
Love that. And it's nice and sheltered here. Even though the wind, it's windy. That's very sheltered, so they don't get.
Yeah. And this structure we built helps so much because bugs, wind, too much sun, drying out already.
And a nice height over there.
Exactly. We built it like it seemed a little bit excessive when we built it at first. Like we couldn't even get to the top when we were building it, kind of thing. And everyone's like, "Why are you doing that?" But we still reached the top, so could have gone higher.
So, like, how long has the farming been going on?
So we started the veggie farm. We started the veggie farm in 2019, Jules and I, and then my dad and I, when we were kids, when I was a kid, he was my dad. We would plant seeds in indigenous trees. So if you like look around, like random indigenous trees that are like 10 to 15 years old, that's how it started. And now we're pretty much changed to veggies.
So it's more
in
like a
2019.
nursery. Yeah.
But we had to build all of this soil. We had to build all this infrastructure. So it was more groundwork, and it's just going to get better and better. So that's why we chose regenerative as well. So every year we know our soil is going to get better and better. We don't have to keep adding and pumping fertilizers and compost and all that. We can just constantly develop our own soil, which is cool.
And this has been in your family for years.
Yeah, I grew up with literally. I was born in Cape Town, and I moved into that house, and I never moved again. You would know.
Organic farming, or what is it actually?
It's like you can get nitpicky with organic and regenerative, but organic just means you're not putting any chemicals into the soil. So we're definitely organic, and we're regenerative in the sense that we don't dig our beds out and put a new one down every year. We kind of keep the soil where it is, and we rather work on making the soil better, like using the microbiology to kind of make the stuff available rather than putting in heavy chemicals or fertilizers, which will give us the same results, but it's just a little bit more conscious and better for you.
And in the bed, did you grow the same stuff, or did you sort of change?
Definitely change. Sometimes you can get away with like planting aubergines there one season and like doing another.
Do they use different? Do they use? Whoa!
Literally just two plots. We haven't had it for a while actually.
I saw there was a nest.
Yeah, there's a big pine tree in the back of the property, which almost every year has a sparrowhawk, which is quite
I'll
lucky.
show you the photos of.
Oh really? Did you get some?
Came into our garden, caught a pigeon.
In your garden?
Yeah.
The sparrowhawk?
Yeah, check. I'll show you a photo of him.
Look at that. Literally, you can see this little spiral sequence. If you take this all off, it used to be yellow, and all these little things were miniature flowers, and each of these miniature flowers got pollinated to make these sunflower seeds. So literally, these are all sunflower seeds.
Jeez.
If I wanted to, I could just do this. I just planted next to sunflower seeds.
And do they grow quickly or easy?
Yeah, they're literally almost every single one of them will grow if you plant them.
Yes.
So if you plant one sunflower, next year you can have like that many sunflowers.
Yeah.
And I think you need to dry them out before you can eat them. So,
right. So they sort of.
You can see they're like a little bit soft still.
Yeah.
We'll go to an older one. You'll feel like they're super hard. And then when they're hard, they're ready to be dried and eaten.
So when they're dry, they're almost the inside kind of like swells
up. It's like literally makes like a fruit. Like think of an apple once it's pollinated, makes a whole big fruit.
I think by drying it would be the reverse, with drying it.
Yeah, it's opposite. It's like all its husk develops, and everything that a plant needs to survive is in a seed capsule. So you think about a seed needing to grow into a milli or sunflower. It's a lot of energy. So all of that energy inside a seed, pretty much.
So cool. Yeah, look at this pattern.
It's almost in a spiral.
Look apart.
Eh?
So yeah, you can kind of get an idea of what our veg is like weekly. I mean, this isn't everything, but you'll kind of get a good understanding. So we'll definitely always have a loaf of bread first of all, made by one of the local bakeries, and then we'll also have a tray of eggs, and we will usually have a bag of salad, as well as extra herbs. The rest of this is pretty standard though. So we have members that buy weekly. We do what is called a CSA membership farm. So it's called Community Supported Agriculture, where they pay a monthly donation towards us, and then weekly they get a veggie box. So it's pretty much just supposed to encompass enough veg to cook for a family of 4 for about a week. So our boxes cost $3.50, but we value that on like a Checkers rate. So we'll go to Pick and Pay Checkers and see what the prices of veggies are there, and we try and match it and make it as valuable as possible. But it's all organic, all grown literally over here, except for the bread and the eggs, which is not grown, it is laid by our chickens. And yeah, we've been supported pretty well. We've been going for 2 years with some solid members. And every week we manage to do about 7 to 10 boxes, and we've employed Joseph, Jules and myself to pretty much run the farm completely independently, which is pretty fun. And you get lovely veggies. So this, for example, this is a spaghetti squash. We planted this in spring. We've probably harvested about 20 to 30 of those in the last few weeks. We've got our beautiful eggplants, which are prolific this time of year. We've got some beetroots, some carrots, some bok choy, the different types of Swiss chard we have, and then these aren't all of them, but there's some of our heirloom variety of tomatoes. That's my favorite by far. That is an orange Marmande. So if you cut those in half, you'll see it doesn't look like your average or your average tomato.
Like that.
Yeah, like that's your average tomato. But what we do is we've been planting tomatoes for about 2 to 3 years, and we keep our favorite seeds from each year, and we try to develop our best tasting, best fruiting, like most resistant tomatoes that we could, and I'm sure Dave will tell you that they taste delicious. Yeah, we just experiment with what we can. So we had a couple of midi seeds. We wanted to try them out this season, wanted to see how well that would go, and we will always grow for our own eyes. So we'll grow flowers, we'll grow different herbs, we'll grow whatever we feel like as customers. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Awesome.
Jules, my friend and business partner, he went on a workshop with the gentleman who came up with this design for beehives. And basically it's just like, as you would expect any other beehive, it's got different layers and different chambers for bees to put honey and wax in. But actually what it comes down to is anyone can do this. So it's just a plant that's been hollowed out, and pretty much I think the cost for this is about $100. And any bee can populate it in its own time, and you don't have to put the bee in there itself. So naturally they will smell the wax on the outside, and they'll occupy it and be able to live in it completely as you would in a normal beehive. But anyone can do it, which is pretty awesome.
Might just paint this.
Please.
sure, I had a bit of a dilemma choosing a picture to paint because I had taken so many beautiful photos, like this eggplant and this beautiful little white duck in the half light. This rooster, I would have done him with a pure black background and his whole profile would have just popped. I decided to paint this sunflower. I think it fits it well. The whole theme of the farm being Sunnycroft farm. Okay, here's the final painting, guys. Hope you like it. I really enjoyed the whole process, having a beer at the farm, checking out all the vegetables. It was so cool. I really enjoyed doing the painting. I haven't done a sunflower for a while. I have done before, but this one is the biggest one I've done. The problem with the yellow is, even if the paint quality is good, you have to do so many layers because it becomes very sort of transparent. So at least 4 layers of yellow to get the yellow to pop. But it was really cool. I enjoyed it. So much fun. You must look out for another video we're busy with as well. So that'll be released next week. And obviously check out my website, and if you could please subscribe, and also Sunnycroft, you could check them out on the link below. And thanks for watching, guys. Cheers, man. Boom.